Welcome into Last Call Primetime Preview here on WagerTalk. I'm Jo Madden. Today I'm joined by Sean Alvarez and Andrew McKinnus. We're going to go over this Thursday night football game. We got the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots in what I hope's not a snooze fest, but could be, as the New York Jets, they might struggle to move that ball here on a Patriots defense that is just coming out so solid. When we look at those lines, you guys, we are currently seeing the Patriots up to a 13 and a half point favorite, 1 to 10 and a half point favorite. And the New York Jets coming in here, grabbing all those points. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, to be honest with you guys. This one kind of looks like a blowout, but we're going to see what the guys are thinking in this one. The total has dropped from 44 and a half. We're seeing 42 and a half out there. A couple of 43 still left if you're looking at it under. But while we go over this, open your odds logic screen and do drop those questions, comments in the live chat. We're going to try to get to all of them. I see J-Dog coming in, Zane coming in. Zane, we're going to talk about that total for sure. You're asking on the under 43 and a half. I tell you, it's going to be a question mark about how many points the Jets can put up. In my opinion, the guys are going to come with their answers on that, but that's where I would have my worry. So I'd be looking maybe at team total if you're looking to break down the game for total wise. But let's bring in Sean Alvarez. He's going to come in first. He's got some props for you guys. I'm excited for this one. So let's bring Sean in. Sean, happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Thank you for reminding me this time. I was, real close to saying happy Monday again for the second week in a row. But maybe we jinxed ourselves on Monday, being able to talk about a nice game between the Eagles and the Packers. And now we get a very depleted Jets team, also a little bit of a beat up Jets team playing a Drake May offense that you and I talked about on Monday. That Drake May's just playing, he's taking a real big step up this year as far as his form throwing the ball. So definitely interested in looking to see, we've seen NFL teams, whether it's this year or years in the past, just kind of overlook teams, and whether, this is a primetime game, should be ready for it. But, look ahead a little bit towards next week. I'm not necessarily thinking the Patriots are going to do it, but, if I knew when teams were going to overlook teams every week, I would, like Kelly says, be living on an island somewhere.
Yeah, definitely would be nice if we could work out exactly when they're going to overlook teams. They have the Cincinnati Bengals on deck next week. It is a mid-afternoon game, one of those first games on a Sunday. So it's not like they have a big matchup on deck. And I really do feel like the New England Patriots should come out here and be able to stop the Jets to be able to put those points up on the board. Like, how, in your opinion, is Justin Fields going to be able to move the ball?
I mean, yeah, that's a real big problem. We've seen it week in and week out with just Justin Fields kind of running for his life, being sacked, just doesn't really have a lot of time to throw. And now, he's out Garrett Wilson, he's out Josh Reynolds. I really think he has to lean on Breece Hall in the running game. But the New England defense year in and year out has been a really well-run defense and really disciplined. So I don't think that they're going to get too far ahead of, looking towards receivers. I think they know that they have to take Breece Hall out of this game, to limit the Jets and limit Justin Fields' opportunities. I'm kind of against it a little bit, but I do have a prop on Justin Fields moving the ball. And we've seen this receiver kind of step up a little bit. He's been shut out, but he's also, kind of that third, fourth receiver, and that's Tyler Johnson that I'm looking at just to get over 25 receiving yards. It's a real short line. He's averaging 23.4 yards per game, but like I said, he's been shut out, when Justin Fields and the Jets offense is really, zoning in on Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. And like I mentioned, Garrett Wilson on the IR. I just think Tyler Johnson's going to get a lot of looks in this game here. And what I like most about Tyler Johnson is he's really, really well with short route running. He has 18 yards per catch after, yards after the catch. So get him the ball in space. You don't necessarily need Justin Fields to get a lot of time, in the pocket to get him the ball. Get him some crossing routes, maybe a wide receiver screen. And I think that he can get most of these 25 receiving yards done, via his legs after the catch.
Yeah, it's crazy to think what the Jets did last week, getting the win. They've won 2 in a row now, but in that win versus the Cleveland Browns, Justin Fields went 6 of 11 for 54 yards. Like, it's not like Justin Fields came out and had this crazy big day. But you're right. He's going to have to find a way to get the ball to either the wide receiver, like you were talking about, or his tight end, Mason Taylor, because the defense here for the Patriots are going to be able to shut down any run game that he brings to them. And I would be terrified to take any rushing props for the Jets to the over. What are you thinking then with this total? If you think the Jets are going to struggle to move that ball, even though we should see at least that 27.5 yards, right? Like, where else would you think with this total for the Jets? Like, is this one you'd look at their team total maybe to the under, the game to the under?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Zane with the under 43.5 that he brought up earlier in the comments. I really just think that if the Jets are going to move this ball, it's really going to be behind Breece Hall. It's going to be kind of, obviously not a quote unquote running clock, but I think the clock's going to be running a lot with, not only leaning on Breece Hall, but, we saw Travion Henderson run for 147 yards last week against the Buccaneers for the Patriots. So the Patriots also want to run the ball. They want to control the clock. And I just don't see those big plays. We saw a big play from Breece Hall last week for the Jets. We also saw, I believe, a touchdown on special teams. So, again, I spoke about the Patriots defense and especially their special teams, leaning towards that disciplined defensive behavior. So I just don't think the Jets are going to get those big plays out of their playmakers. So I would lean towards the under. I just think I think you're going to look up and it's going to be the second half before you know it kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a question here in the chat. Breece Hall for his receiving yards. So I just looked up those numbers. His number of receptions, 2.5 to the over at +110. And then his receiving yards, 14.5. It's actually a nice way to look. I didn't even think about looking at Breece Hall for those receptions, for those receiving yards, because we know they're going to try to pass it off. Justin Fields is going to try to pass it nice and deep. It's just not going to happen. So if Breece Hall's in the area, do you think we can see him go over the 2.5 receptions, or would you prefer the receiving yards?
2.5. I to be honest, I kind of like both of them. And we've seen it in other games and other offenses, when they want to either run the ball to keep the clock going or get short yardages, they can get the ball, in screens. They can get short passes, little shovel passes, just to get Breece Hall the ball because, if they sit him back behind Justin Fields and hand the ball off in first and second down each and every time they get the ball, that Patriots defense is going to be all over it. So they do have to get a little different, a little bit weird on offense with their play calling to get Breece Hall the ball. Because like we said, I don't want to continue to beat down the same point, but so many playmakers are out of this game for the New York Jets offense. So I really think that they're going to have to lean on Breece Hall, get him opportunities in space, maybe, a couple dump off passes, a couple quick passes to get him the ball in space and see if he can make a play. Because, like I said, just sending him up the middle, first, second, third down, it's going to be a quick 3 and out. Most times they have the ball.
Yeah, great call there in the chat, throwing out Breece Hall for those receiving yards. So love where you guys are going. Joe does mention just a live betting situation here where he's looking for the team total for the Patriots over 12.5 in the first half or the full game over 23.5. I'd look at full half maybe before I'd look at the full game for this team to get up. Any thoughts on that before we get to the other prop that you do have for the Patriots here?
Yeah, my only thing with that, I mean, I kind of love the full game over 23.5, but I was looking at that earlier. I could have sworn it was at 27-ish, 28.5 maybe. So yeah, 23.5. I mean, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. It is going to be cold. Like I said, I think both teams are going to really depend on running the ball. So I think, offensive possessions are going to be a little bit small there. But, Joe and I talked about it on Monday, and we've seen it, week in and week out with this year and how Drake May's throwing the ball and how beat up this New York Jets defense is. It really only takes a couple big plays for the Patriots to get over that total. And they've got a real fast running back that we're going to get, talking about in the next prop. So if you can get 23.5, maybe it's a live total that you're looking at. That's kind of what I would lean at there, the over 23.5 for the Patriots.
Yeah, that would have to be the way that I would go with that as well. The 23.5 seems light for this Patriots team, unless they just are eating the clock and they're sitting right there at 21. And we know that is quite possible, but this should be an interesting one. So when we look at the Patriots, we know the faith you have in Drake May, I have the same faith in him. He's got great receivers out there. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got his tight end, Hunter Henry. But you're going to turn to the running back here, and I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a big effort last week from TreVeyon Henderson with 147 rushing yards. Now, granted, 69 of those did come from 1 yard, so you can kind of split that number in half. But if you look at what he's doing and what the Patriots really like to do, they lean on their running backs. And with Ramondre Stevenson out, it looks like Terrell Jennings is going to suit up as a backup, but he was questionable going into this as well. So I really think that the Patriots coaching staff is going to lean on TreVeyon Henderson. So I like the receiving and rushing yards total to go over 100 yards, and we're getting a pretty juicy value at plus 104. I hate laying juice, especially in props. So I do like that, and I think they're going to lean on him. The left side of the defensive line for the Jets is beat up. So I just think they're going to continue feeding him the ball. And then without Ramondre Stevenson, I just think he's going to get a couple more catches than we've seen him. He's only averaging a little over 2 catches per game. So I do think that they're going to utilize him a little bit more in the screens and not really bring in Terrell Jennings as much as we've seen Henderson and Stevenson kind of share loads or share the running load when both of them are healthy throughout the season. So rushing and receiving yards over 100 for plus 104.
Gotta love that plus money. And if you're just looking at his number of receptions, because you did mention those receptions, 2.5, it's minus 112. He definitely, in my opinion, gets 3 receptions in this game. What about one player here for the Patriots that you would look at for Drake May to look for those long bombs down the field too? Like, is there someone you have confidence in for their longest reception? I looked at Stephon Diggs. I looked at Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's numbers actually come down. It was 19.5 just yesterday. It's 18.5 now. Stephon Diggs still sitting at that 21.5. But do you think TreVeyon Henderson could get 1 for 11 yards? His is only 10.5, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it with the Jets defense, being depleted with trades, but they're also just being hit really hard with the injury bug. So, over 11.5, I do think that they're going to utilize them, kind of in that Stevenson role with him being out. So over 11.5 in a the longest reception, I do like that with Henderson. But, I do like, as far as Stephon Diggs, I'm not necessarily loving, any kind of longest reception, but I do think that Drake Mays is kind of going to lean on his veteran receiver, especially with Kayshon I'm sure I'm butchering that. With him being out of this game, you got Mac Hollins on the other side. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of targets for Stephon Diggs, and he's quick as well. Get him the ball in space, maybe on a curl route, and he can make defenders miss. So he can do it with his legs, but he can also do it, via Drake May passing deep down the field. So I do like the Stephon Diggs. And then, if I was going to lean anywhere for an anytime touchdown, it would probably be Hunter Henry.
Yeah, you got to love Hunter Henry's ability to get in the end zone. Nice big target out there for Drake May. Okay, there is a question here. First half under 22.5. They think the Jets are going to come out swinging on defense in a primetime divisional game. What are your thoughts? So I'll ask you your thoughts on a first half or second half of this. Do you think, if anything, the Jets could get the backdoor cover, or more likely so the scripted plays to start this game, the defense finds a way to shut down Drake May?
Yeah, if I was going to bet on anything, it would probably be take the, hopefully the Patriots go and score early, take the points, live with the Jets, get that backdoor cover when, maybe we see starters out for the Patriots when they're up by 21, 22, get that maybe, lose by 17, 16, get a little bit more value live. But I do kind of like that first half under 22.5 that Feng Shui brought up. My reasoning is kind of the opposite way. I just think the Patriots are not going to come out and, turn the ball over, make one mistake, whether that be, an interception or fumbling in space. I think we're going to see a really kind of methodical offense for the Patriots, run the ball, a lot of, scripted. I don't want to use the word scripted because we talk about that a lot on Sundays, but, a scripted offense where the offense basically knows, the first 10 or so plays that the coordinator is going to call going into this. And I just think it's going to be kind of more methodical, take maybe half the first quarter out, and, maybe we get lucky with a field goal or a punt, but I do kind of like that with the first half under 22.5.
Yeah, that first half under 22.5. It looks like a solid number there. We'll see what the Jets defense can do, Sean. I'm just hoping this isn't like Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, I'm not going to lie, I turned off the TV. Did you watch the full game? All honesty, did you watch it? Because I was expecting a high scoring game. I was done in the third quarter. I just turned it off.
I know I started the second half, but I can't guarantee you how much time I watched after that. Just kind of open my phone, make sure the Eagles are still winning, close my phone, back to whatever I was doing.
Oh, I was definitely frustrated in the chat. Let us know if you were frustrated on Monday Night Football. Not only were my bets losing, but it wasn't even an entertaining game to watch out there. But at least we had the Eagles, right, to be able to come out and get the win. But Sean, you've been crushing the books out there. You're part of the Weekend Warrior package. Fantastic deal over on WagerTalk. Can you tell everyone what they can expect this weekend from you in the Weekend Warrior?
Yeah, so go ahead and get the Weekend Warrior deal. It's all of my college football plays on Saturday, all of my NFL plays on Sunday and Monday. But you also get, once you get the Weekend Warrior package, you get those plays as soon as I load it. So you're not going to get it at midnight, or 12:01 in the morning on Saturday, and same thing on Sunday. So make sure you're getting out ahead of that. I currently have 4 college football plays loaded. I'm looking at 1 or 2 more to add for Saturday. I really like the slate, and I like the Sunday NFL slate even more. I will have my package up once the Friday NFL injury report is announced. So then you'll get all of my college football plays on Saturday, all of my plays on Sunday, and then I will have one loaded for Monday night as well. So make sure you're getting those savings, especially with such a big slate, or at least a big card that I'm going to have. It's going to be much cheaper if you get that full Weekend Warrior package. So head over to WagerTalk, get in on those specials, and let's hopefully keep cashing some winners this weekend.
Yeah, let's absolutely cash. Hopefully you got a couple of dogs on the slate this weekend between college and NFL. I love when the dogs are barking, I'm not seeing too many of them barking this weekend, Sean, but hopefully the Jets aren't barking tonight because my money is on New England here. I want to wish you all the best in all of your bets. Thanks for joining us here for the primetime preview on WagerTalk.
I appreciate it as always, Joe.
Thank you. You guys, that was Sean Alvarez. Go on over to wagertalk.com to get the best of his bets. Like he said, that Weekend Warrior package, he's already got a ton of plays loaded in college football. He's going to have a full slate on NFL Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend. So you guys, let me know when you're looking at this Week 11 slate, if you think the dogs are barking or if you think the favorites are coming out and covering. I'm terrified because I'm looking at the slate and I'm looking at favorites covering, and I love betting the dogs. So it does scare me a little bit. It starts off tonight with this New England game, and I tell you, if I'm sitting here later tonight and the Jets have pulled off the upset, well, I will be completely blindsided because I just don't see it happening. I don't see a flat spot here. But we're going to bring in Andrew McKinnus, see what he's thinking. You guys, make sure you drop your questions, your comments in the live chat over here on YouTube. If you're watching on any of the other platforms, come on over, interact with us. But let's bring Andrew McKinnus in to see what he's got for you guys.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how's it going, Andrew?
Good to be here with you. I haven't really been around on Thursdays lately, so haven't been able to do any shows. But I'll tell you what, I know it's an NFL show, but you're a CFL fan like myself, and those CFL games have been a lot more exciting than some of these primetime games have been in the NFL. So I'm always an advocate for the NFL. We all like it. Everybody likes the NFL the most. But let's not get back to the old ways. Let's get back to a more exciting primetime game in the NFL tonight. I don't care what the score is. I don't really care if the Jets compete. I want some points. I want some excitement. I know some might tell me, oh, you can still enjoy a game if it's low scoring. Well, 0-0 at halftime or 3-3 at halftime, whatever it was with the Packers game, that's not going to cut it with me. People have bad attention spans. They want to see some touchdowns. You want to see some points here.
And I love defensive football, like absolutely love it. But that was just way too much. There was nothing going on. It was so frustrating. I want to ask you one question before we jump into this game. You brought up CFL, but I thought you were going to bring up NHL. Are you rolling with the Sharks tonight over the Calgary Flames? If this is a premium play, don't tell us. But I tell you, I think the Sharks are going to beat my Calgary Flames.
The opening number was so weird to me. Like, it was like, why are the books respecting this Flames team so much here? Like, what is going on? I decided to stay off. I got some player props in that one. Yeah. I think Nazem Kadri will have a good night for the Flames, and got a couple of guys I'm looking at for the Sharks. But value-wise, it's on the San Jose Sharks, 100%. But A lot of times I find myself, when you have to ask yourself why a price is the certain way that it is, then maybe that is the way it should be. And I think this Flames team, this is the ultimate test. If they can't look good tonight, Joe, they're in real bad trouble. This is the game that they have to look good in tonight.
J-Dog, I did take the Sharks on the money line. I have no faith in my Calgary Flames tonight. They're 8th in the Pacific. The Sharks are 4th, and the books still have the Sharks as a dog. And don't forget, Tyler Toffoli coming back to Calgary. He's going to be impactful tonight. So this is going to be an interesting one. But this is all about football, you guys. We're talking this Thursday night football game. I couldn't resist throwing out the Sharks on the money line, though. The New York Jets. Are the Jets barking, Andrew, versus the New England Patriots? I don't see it. Do you? The books don't see it either. 13-point dog across the board right now.
I mean, the only way this team has a chance of covering, if this is just an absolute snail race, if this was just the biggest snooze fest possible, filled with field goals, and if the game is kept so low scoring that high total is made, or that high spread is able to come in. You know, people often talk about how you can have an underdog that can be a lot more live in a game that people are expecting an under to hit and more defense. And when you talk about the injuries on the side of the football of the Jets, and even injuries on the side of the ball on the Patriots as well, this could be one of those games. Hey, we're going to roll the football out here. Let's just try and stay healthy. You know, the Patriots get the win, but don't cover. You know, I could see that happening. But at the end of the day right now, who's going to do anything exciting for the New York Jets tonight? Who's going to make a big play? I don't get it. And I'll tell you what, we had the comment come in, and you guys already discussed this a little bit, but one of the plays I was going to talk about today actually was Breece Hall over on his receiving yards. And the funny thing is, if you look across books, you've seen 16.5, 17.5. I saw 15.5. It opened up actually at 14.5. That didn't last very long. So make sure you shop around. When I give out prop bets to clients, if I'm giving it out on Sunday, you always want to give the best number possible. But on a primetime game, I always give a number that's very reasonable. So right now, 17.5 is probably the best number you can get, or the consensus number. Some books should give you guys a 16.5. But Joe, where are the playmakers on this Jets team? Who's going to be able to score for them? Who's going to be able to help them cover this point spread? That's what I worry about. Like, instinctually, I see that great trend where primetime games, I believe it was Thursday Night Football, Patriots, like 10-0, their last 10 double-digit favorites. But at the end of the day, this team is rolling right now. Their offense looks too good. And I think that, you know, Sean talked about kind of the dump offs, the dink and dunk style. You know, you got a quarterback that's probably going to be running for his life tonight. And funny enough, I found here the Patriots allow a higher rate of receptions to running backs, around 6 to 6.2 per game, 38 receiving yards per game allowed by the Patriots. And we know that if it's not working in the run game, and we know how elite the Patriots rushing defense is, maybe, just maybe, he starts being used as just a dump off type of back and a guy that's just being a pass catcher. And, you know, it's going to be awful for people that have him on his rushing yards, because if he just catches a ball that's 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage and just has all his yards tonight as a receiver, people will not be happy.
Yeah, they definitely won't be happy with that. But at least Jets fans will be happy if they're able to move the ball in some sort of fashion out here. Do you think the Jets can go over their team total? I believe it's low. It was 14.5 the last time I looked. Are you expecting them to put up a couple of touchdowns in this one? Or do you think this is a field goal style game where maybe 12, 13 points out of the Jets?
That's good. It's interesting. I think that, put it this way, I think if people like the Patriots here, you take that under team total for the Jets. Because, you know, if you're getting a good price on that as well, it's basic number, basic minus 110, you know, ballpark here. I think that's the way to go, because I don't think the New York Jets are covering in this ball game if they don't supersede their team total. Right. I think that as much as I mentioned that we all say underdog and under could correlate together, I also think it's one of those things there where the Pats are going to score. The Pats are going to put numbers up on the board. So do I think the Jets can go over their team total? Look, these 14.5s, they're low for a reason. And I think that the under is probably the move. But I bet you're going to be able to get some type of in-game spot, whether it's in-game, bigger number on the point spread for the Jets, whether it's an in-game prop bet. on the quarterback, or whether you look at Fields. I mean, we know how good the Patriots defense is, right?
Yeah.
Or as far as their rushing defense. Do you think that there's going to be even any opportunities to run the ball once second half is here? Like maybe a passing attempts prop or a pass completions prop, because I don't really see how the Jets are going to be able to run the ball at all in the second half if they're down by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, very true. They're going to have to get that ball moving through the air. Justin Fields is going to have to try to find some weapons out there, which brings me to their tight end, Mason Taylor. He's a tight end. He's a good target out there for Justin Fields. We've seen a couple of nice passes to him. It's funny because I shop all of these books, look at all the different props, and I got to love the combo props that they throw out on FanDuel. They have Mason Taylor and Hunter Henry to combine for 75 or more receiving yards and 1 touchdown. At plus 170, is Mason Taylor just going to be the weak link? Do we just look at Hunter Henry?
That is interesting because, it's like I talked about the Breece Hall receiving yards. Somebody has to catch the ball tonight for the New York Jets. I mean, hopefully somebody's going to do it. And the tight ends are usually that security, that safety blanket. That's kind of what the tight ends are there for. Unless you're looking at some of the elite tight ends that actually make those game-breaking plays, they're mostly just those guys that are going to be there to block or catch the ball over the top. And I feel like that's going to be the case here. So I know you like those combo ones. I like that one. That's kind of a good one. And the only worry is, Sean mentioned it, if this Patriots team is completely running the score up, then does Hunter Henry even have an involvement in this game in the second half? Does he even get the ball much? He's been very important. And, the tight end position for some teams like the Patriots is so important. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and I'll tell you, people say it's a sad thing if your tight end being out affects your team so much, but the Packers didn't look the same without Tucker Kraft on Monday night. So especially for a team like the Jets that are going to struggle probably to move the ball, I think a tight end's a good position to target for sure.
Yeah, definitely would be a good position. And I do like the Patriots' ability to get it to Hunter Henry. We haven't talked very much about Drake May, but what is your faith in him and the New England Patriots in this game?
You know what? I think that he's going to have a good game. He's been so great. But one thing I noticed here, and I just got to pull up my sheet here, even though this is a game with a massive point spread, so you might not think he'd need to run the ball as much. Here are his rushing attempt numbers in the last handful of games: 7, 8, 7, 9, 7, 10, 3, 3. And then when you look at the rushing yards for him, he's had some games where he pulled off 62, pulled off 50. So obviously we're talking about a quarterback here, but I'm actually tempted by the rushing attempts number here for him. Even though this is a game in which he probably won't have to be desperate, running for first downs and sacrificing his body. They're supposed to win by a lot tonight. We know that. But this is one of those ones where you follow the trend. If you can get 5.5, great. If you can get 6.5 at plus money, great. Whether it's a big run or it's a small run, I'm interested in Drake May. I heard you talking, I think, earlier about the longest pass completion. That might be the way to go. I honestly potentially would even look towards the under on completions altogether. We've now seen 3 straight games where Drake May has gone under on his completions, and that's because he's been so dominant. This Patriots team's been so dominant. Like, one of my favorite angles to look at with player prop quarterback is looking at the team I expect to lose completions or attempts for that quarterback, because as I just mentioned, in the second half, the Jets are going to have to throw the ball. Based on this line projection, we don't think that May is going to have to throw the ball very much in the second half. That's why, like against Tampa Bay, he had 16 completions.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They looked pretty good in that game, though.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I couldn't believe when I looked at those stats and broke that down, how little completions he did have out there. Randy's throwing something at you. Mitchell here for the Jets is active. Maybe he's sneaky. What do you think of Mitchell? I haven't done much research into him.
16.5. Not bad there. Not bad. I think I'd be interested, but again, you got to be careful who you're spreading your numbers around here with this Jets team. There's only going to be so many guys that are getting fed. There's only going to be so many completions. But at the end of the day, some of this stuff is going to be live for me. I need to see, because I think that the Jets are going to want to keep this game boring. They're going to want to keep the Patriots off the field. They're going to want to run the ball. I don't know, but it's a low number. It's a low number there, Randy. So maybe it could be a sneaky bet for sure.
Okay, now we do have the chat thrown out as well. Jamie throwing out Drake May for the rushing touchdown. We know he has every ability to use his legs. He's strong. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Drake May. I don't know. I was a complete believer going into the season, Andrew. Were you a believer on Drake May coming in? And what are your thoughts now? And do you think he can get a touchdown with his legs?
I wasn't a believer, and I hate that he's a MVP favorite right now because, and I'll tell you what, I'm kind of biased. Here in the East Coast of Canada, the closest state to us is Massachusetts. So everybody that I know is a Patriots fan, and it bothers me because pretty much everybody my age I call a bandwagon Patriots fan because they've never witnessed a bad Pats team. And then they were bad for 2 years, and all of a sudden they're back and doing unbelievable again. So it bothers me. But I didn't think that Drake May had it. And I think the big thing was his decision making. But this year, it's been really incredible to look at. As much as I like the rushing attempts, the only thing I would say is that are they going to draw something up where they'd kind of want him to get hurt or get any physical trouble in this game where the spread is so big? But you know what I always say, Joe? It's kind of like when the spread is so big, it has to get there for a reason. Like it has to get there before, people want to protect the players or not worry about, well, is he going to want to sacrifice his body? Well, you have to get that lead so big first. So maybe a rushing touchdown from him. But I think the best way to go about it actually tonight would be unders on Drake May, especially those completions, maybe the attempts. And we have to kind of bank on the Jets being able to run the ball or at least some long methodical drives. That's why I like that receiving prop on Hall. I think they can move the chains, but they're not going to do anything special. I don't see Fields throwing the ball that deep against this Patriots defense.
No, either do I. And you have to be concerned then with Drake May's passing prop because it's 232.5. That number is so high. If they get off to a big lead, what is the advantage of Drake May throwing big bombs down the field? There is no advantage for him to do that. And they're going to look to run that ball, eat the clock, and keep the Jets off the field. So I'm with you on that. You're looking at his pass completions sitting at 19.5. And with the win last week, only getting 16, looks like the right way to go, you guys. It's minus 125 to the under. I do like that longest pass completion. Drake's May's number himself is 36.5. But if you break down those receivers, you guys, you are getting Hunter Henry at 18.5 and Stephon Diggs at 21.5. And I think those are your playmakers out there, unless you guys think there's someone else. Let us know in the chat. We are seeing Jennings thrown out there for the anytime touchdown. He's plus 320. J-Dog's or Randy's saying he's taking him for the touchdown. J-Dog's saying if he's healthy, he's getting the use in the end zone. What do you think?
I think that we got to look for a target there. We got to look for the guys with good prices as well. I mean, we can't be taking all the chalk on a primetime game with a point spread like this, right? So if he's healthy, if you're looking for it, I'm definitely up for it. I have no problem with that. I think that in a game like this, as much as sometimes on the props and parlay show, Andy and I have no problem looking at the favorited guys to get touchdowns because those are the guys that get them. You got to look towards some of the guys deeper down the list here.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And getting some great plus money on those guys. So, Andrew, what else do you have for us in this Thursday night football game?
Yeah, like I said, those are the two props that I like the most. The Breece Hall receiving over. And then I like the one quite a bit with the completions under with Drake May and the rushing attempts over. I definitely think that despite the projections for this game, I think he's going to be someone that can probably still use his legs. And this point spread is so big, but it's got to get there somehow. If they're going to cover this point spread, you got to be able to put some points up early. And I think Drake May is going to have a good first half and over 6.5 at plus 115. That's a pretty good number. So I like that one quite a bit. But I'll tell you what, touchdown scores, you go down the list here. You open up DraftKings or FanDuel, wherever you're looking, you go down the list. I think, first of all, Hunter Henry is one that we all like quite a bit. Someone just mentioned Jennings at plus 320. Yeah. How about Demario Douglas plus 390? Like that one's a pretty good one, but I'm going to throw this out to you. Patriots defense, an anytime defense touchdown score.
I love it.
For the Patriots. I could see the Jets throwing a pick six. I could see a strip sack and a fumble return. So I could see, this is the kind of game you want to have some fun when it comes to the touchdown scores, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if the game script goes the way that we're expecting, not like Monday Night Football. I don't know what you had in Monday Night Football, but I expected more points. But looking at this one too, a live betting situation, like if the Jets in that first half. You're down by a whole bunch going into the half, come out, and Justin Fields hasn't thrown that pick six yet. Look for those lines, you guys, on the defensive touchdown then of the Patriots as well, because that is going to go up. It's plus 600 right now, Andrew, and I was going to go there with you. It looks like a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well. You might as well sprinkle on the plus money like that. There's going to be a game. There's going to be some points on the board, I think. But it all depends on how competitive the Jets make it. It's going to be very hard to cap this game if we don't think the Jets are going to make it competitive whatsoever. So, but then again, Sean said it could be a snooze fest where you wake up and all of a sudden the first half is over. So who knows what we're in store for tonight.
I'm hoping we're in for an exciting night like we're getting between the Washington Capitals, Florida Panthers right now, you guys. 1-1 game. We got the Senators up 1-0 over the Bruins. Montreal yet to score. Come on, Andrew. Tell me your Habs are winning tonight over the Dallas Stars.
I hope so. Bad game for them against the Kings. And I am on the Sens team total with the clients. So hopefully they get that done for me. We got to get to 4.
Okay, so when people go over to WagerTalk.com to get your best plays, what can they expect over there, Andrew?
Yeah, right now we've got, of course, NHL most nights. We cashed a 5% play last night. Dramatic fashion, I will add, though, Joe. And, of course, looking at NBA team totals and college basketball team totals, but very low volume with those. But the big thing is, look, I'm not doing a ton of stuff in the NFL, but we're on an 11-2 player props run and 21-7 dating back to last year. So I'm pretty fired up about that. I hope people are as well. And we got a big play going on Sunday in the NFL. And it's a player prop. And, you know, it always cracks me up, Joe. Like you say, you got a big play going and people are like, well, is it a side or is it a total? It's like, it's not enough that it's a big play. It's not enough that it's my favorite play. It's like, oh, what kind of bet is it? And those player props are going really well. So 11-2 run. And the great deal right now, 10 days of picks for less than $10 per day. That's the best way to go. If you guys want to get any of my action, you're saving 3 days, $69 of value. That's the way to go. And forget about buying just one play. Get all the plays for 10 days.
Yeah, getting those longer term packages, definitely a great way to go. Well, Andrew, I know you're absolutely crushing it. So much going on. You have your hockey show tonight. What time and can people join you here?
Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's live. Sometimes we're going to be pre-recorded, and moving forward, we might start doing some more pre-recorded videos. But the concept of the show, we're looking towards the next day and handicapping early on. And Joe, it's helped me personally. People are enjoying it as well. But, you know, we're going to be watching the games Thursday night, and then all of a sudden I'm getting ready for Friday, and we're getting ready for Saturday. So it's kind of nice to look towards the next day.
Yeah, and it's nice. We've only got 4 games in the NHL tomorrow, so it should be a good one. Yeah, the Leafs just scored. They are up 2-0. The Kings, if you come back in on the money line, might be a nice price there. We know backup goaltending in for the Leafs. But Andrew, keep absolutely crushing the books out there. You guys head on over to WagerTalk.com for Andrew's best picks. Good luck in this Thursday night football game.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you. You guys, that was Andrew McKinnus. Again, all of his best plays over on WagerTalk.com. Don't miss out on that 10-day package. You're getting a great savings over there for Andrew and everyone over on WagerTalk. You can grab their Weekend Warrior package. Definitely great if you're just looking for those football plays. But if you're looking for more, Andrew's covering so much, and that 10-day package is where you want to go. But you guys, we heard from the guys. I just want to quickly take any last questions, any last comments that you do have. For me, I do think the Patriots come out and win and cover. Like I said at the start of the show, I'm going to be super frustrated sitting here at the end of the night if the Jets get the win. But my producer, Tom's going to be pretty happy because the Jets are his team. And I'm sitting here remembering that I'm bad-mouthing the Jets basically for the last 45 minutes. And he's not going to be too impressed when we end this show. But I wish everyone the best in all of their bets. I do think we're going to see some big explosive plays out of Drake May. So let me know what you're liking. Let us know what you're liking for any time. Touchdowns, drop below this video so you can have those bragging rights when they do cash for you guys. But I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you for being here. J-Dog saying he is a Jets fan too, and they stink. So love that coming from you. I've got Jets fan gear in my closet, so I like the Jets pretty much as well. I like all teams. I like any team when they're making me money. I just don't feel like the Jets are making me money tonight, you guys. So all the best in all your bets. Make sure you join us Monday and Thursday here for your primetime preview last call. And then on Saturday and Sunday with Kelly and Ariel for your college football last call, as well as your NFL last call on a Sunday. But you guys, all the best. We will see you next Monday here. Until then, stay hot and let's make some freaking money.